So now that the Cybertruck mind flash has subsided a bit, but only a bit, because we still dream about this wonderful beast every night, we can at least also take a look at some other events in the world of electric cars. First, it seems that the Model Y production will start a lot earlier than expected, because Tesla informed their suppliers to start to produce Model Y parts as soon as possible. Then there are some big breakthrough announcements rumored for the next year's Investors Battery and Drivetrain Day.
Then BMW tries to mock Tesla because of the now famous Cybertruck window failure. However, back at home, things aren't looking so good for BMW and also not for Audi, because they both now either have to cut bonuses or even cut back jobs because they both slept on electric cars. Classic, always make fun of others when things look really bad at home. And lastly, we have another startup who, of course, by sheer total coincidence, now also has released pictures of their new upcoming pickup truck. But actually, this one looks kind of cool, we have to say. So stay tuned for these highly interesting developments in the world of electric cars.
So now 2 weeks have passed since that fateful day on which our lives have been changed forever. The day after which we see car design now with totally different eyes. We have now processed this event and can also take a look at some other developments. Let's remain with Tesla for a bit. There are strong indications that Tesla's upcoming Model Y will enter production a lot sooner than expected. Many expected the Model Y to enter production in late 2020, with first deliveries in early 2021. Now it seems, however, that Tesla has informed its suppliers to start the production of Model Y parts as soon as possible. As the Taiwan Economic Daily reported, this would be a mind-blowing half-year earlier than initially planned. That means we could see full-scale production of the Model Y already by mid-2020, with the first deliveries certainly not long afterwards. We all know that the Model Y will be Tesla's most important vehicle to date, because if we just take a look at the crossover segment, it's by far the largest market. Tesla will tap into this market segment the same way it tapped into the mid-size sedan market with the Model 3. And we all know what happened afterwards. The Model 3 is now in some countries the best-selling car, not electric car. And in the US, the number 4 best-selling car, again not electric car. This is but a taste of what's to come with Model Y. This will truly become Tesla's new cash cow, and that the production starts earlier also means that Tesla has secured more battery production capacity. The bottleneck has been Panasonic's annual output of only 25 gigawatt-hours. Therefore, it seems that Tesla has found a way to ramp up their annual battery production well above that number. But let's not forget that the first deliveries of the Tesla Semi are also expected for late 2020. Then in 2021, we will see the second generation Tesla Roadster and the first Cybertruck batches. So battery production capacity will be key here, and we are glad to see that Tesla has overcome this problem.
We will certainly learn more about this on Tesla's Battery and Drivetrain Investors Day, scheduled to take place sometime in early 2020. It has been kind of an open secret since quite a while now that Tesla actually wants to enter the mining business in order to mine resources for lithium-ion batteries, in order to further drive down battery costs and in order to increase the production capacity of batteries even more. And maybe that will also play a role in further scaling up production and further driving down costs. And then a quite large breakthrough in battery energy density is also expected to be revealed on that day. We all were stunned by the Cybertruck presentation when it was shown that the top spec Cybertruck would offer a 500-mile range. And we have known for quite a while now that the next generation Tesla Roadster will even have a 600-mile range. It is speculated that these breakthroughs in battery energy density and thus enabling these very high ranges are based on Maxwell Technologies' dry electrode fabrication process. Now currently the energy density of the Model 3's 2170 cells is at around 207 watt-hours per kilogram. An increase to 300 watt-hours per kilogram is rumored, which would explain the insane ranges of EVs that Tesla has announced for 2021 and later. And a few months ago we also talked about the Tesla Semi, how the Tesla Semi would actually end up having even more range than initially expected, probably up to 600 miles. So of course all these developments will help drive down the prices of batteries, so the US dollar price per kilowatt hour, even more. Inside EVs did actually a very good analysis on cost reduction and ended up with a figure of around 20% cost reduction in battery prices within the next 2 years, so down to 100, maximum 110 US dollars per kilowatt hour. And this also perfectly fits the unexpectedly low entry price of the Cybertruck of only a bit below $40,000. Now, we've said it time and time again on this channel, but we're not getting tired of saying it even more often. Mark our words, it won't be long until it will be cheaper to produce an electric car than to produce a diesel or gasoline car. That's when diesel and gasoline cars will basically face insta-death. It will be an insta-jib for diesel and gasoline cars. And many analysts believe that this point is not really far away, actually already in 2022. And that's when electric cars will truly start taking off like crazy. So that's why we are so excited for the Tesla Battery and Drivetrain Investors Day, because we'll learn more about all these interesting developments which will actually enable electric cars to completely destroy gasoline and diesel cars for good. Because it's about freaking time that happened.
And now the funniest news. BMW tried to mock Tesla with this ad here posted on Twitter, trying to promote the bulletproof windows and splinter protection on their armored X5 SUV. Well, we noticed two things here. First of all, when people say the Cybertruck is ugly, please take a look at this car here. This car here, ladies and gentlemen, displays in our opinion a level of boring design and ugliness that just boggles our minds. The air drag coefficient of this car here is probably worse than that of a brick. And the fuel consumption, only 13 liters per 100 kilometers. Wow, nice. This makes me so angry. The hug wants to come out again. Wow, that was close. And what's happening meanwhile at home, BMW? Oh yes, you have to cut down bonuses and earnings of your employees because you've completely slept on EVs and totally missed the EV bandwagon. And Audi, by the way, also, even more so in fact. That German car maker has to cut back 9,500 of its 61,000 jobs in Germany. That's 15.6% of all of Audi's jobs in the country. Ouch. But of course, it's nice to distract from one's own problems by making fun of others. Too bad that despite the window fail, the Cybertruck already has over 250k pre-orders.
But luckily, as we know since now a few weeks, Tesla will build their Gigafactory 4 near Berlin, so all the people that have lost jobs at the German automakers can then apply at the Tesla Gigafactory 4 near Berlin. How awesome is that? They can apply at a car maker that is expanding and building new factories like crazy, whereas all the other car makers that have slept on electric cars have now to cut back jobs and are shrinking. That's what happens when you sleep on innovation. Remember BlackBerry and Nokia? They are still there, but they are very small now because they slept on the smartphone innovation. So yeah, Tesla building the Gigafactory 4 in Germany is very good news for Germans, and the Germans should be freaking thankful that Tesla chose Germany to build a new Gigafactory. And as if all the recent pickup truck unveilings, of course, what a coincidence, all within hours or days of the Cybertruck unveiling, weren't enough, an interesting startup named Neuron EV has now unveiled their electric pickup truck, the T.One. Now, of all the competitors to the Cybertruck, we have to say this one here looks the coolest. It's really quite futuristic, but it of course is contemporary futurism with lots of round shapes and not the brutalist 80s retro futurism of the Cybertruck, which we by the way like a lot because too many sci-fi movies probably. You know, Total Recall, Back to the Future, Blade Runner. We by the way like both forms of futurism, the contemporary one and the retro one. Both are super awesome. Now, Neuron EV is a startup based in Irvine, California, and they have quite a few other interesting ideas. For example, a semi called the TORQ that has admittedly very similar features to the Tesla Semi, And they even have a modular electric bus concept.
As of now, they only showed the prototypes of the T.One and the TORQ, and no word on the specs yet, so no information on pricing, range, and charging speed and so on. But we have to say that we really like the design of these cars here. And the more futuristic EVs come to the market, the better. The more competition there is, the more choices the consumer will have, thus the better the products will become. We are glad to see us finally entering the era of super futuristic looking electric cars. It was about time. And all thanks to Tesla, of course. First, they made electric cars possible. Then they made digital instrument clusters possible. Now they even made ultra-futuristic designs possible. Oh yeah, and before we forget, the Model 3 Standard Range Plus can now charge with up to 170 kilowatts. The Model 3 Mid-Range with up to 200 kilowatts. The Model 3 Performance and Long Range can already charge at 250 kilowatts. But the V3 superchargers are still quite rare. But the charging speed increase for the lower spec versions is really awesome.
Phew, that was really close with the Hulk.
So BMW and Audi, they are really struggling now, right?
Maybe this wouldn't have happened if they would have actually produced all those cool looking futuristic concept cars that they have been showing us since, I don't know, over 20 years now.
Of course, electric.
Of course, electric versions, what else?
And are you also looking forward so much to Tesla's battery and drivetrain day?
I am, absolutely. I think there will be some big and amazing revelations coming regarding battery production and battery energy density.
And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell, because we regularly upload 2 videos per week on electric cars, spaceflight, and also some other stuff, right?
Yes, Hyperloop, Boring Company, and all the amazing things going on this planet. Also other planets. Ciao!
You laugh too much. Stop laughing for.
Sorry.
God. Jetzt.